What you have to do is things jump out in front of you and you deal with them just like in a game. So get over it. So get over it? Wait. Hold on. Hold up. Yo, what up, guys? It's the Gaming Zone bringing you your daily gaming news. And real quick, before we get into the gaming news, there's actually two things that I want to go over with you guys. The first one is to say I'm sorry for not releasing a video yesterday. Some of you guys may know I have sickle cell anemia, so sometimes it gets really difficult to record a video, especially sometimes when I wake up in the morning and I'm in pain or I'm in crisis or there's something else going on. The point is that I apologize for not releasing a video and that I need to prepare much more better if I'm going to actually make this a long-term channel to continue to progressively grow. So again, I wanted to just say I'm sorry for the disappointment that I had for you guys yesterday. Two, I want to say rest in peace to James Earl Jones. He died yesterday, September 9th, 2024, and he was born January 17th, 1931. He was 93 years old when he passed away. This man lived a long, prosperous life. I also want to thank him for all the great characters that he created. Darth Vader from Star Wars, Mufasa from The Lion King, and many other different characters, voice acting, regular acting that he did. He made it possible for some of us to even get to where we are. So again, thank you, James Earl Jones, for putting in the work, for showing us that it's possible. Let's get into the gaming news. Today, we are going to be talking about a man named Chris Deering. You may be wondering who he is and or why you should care. So real quick, let me give you a little something about his background. All right, so as y'all can see, this is all from Wikipedia. So take this with a grain of salt. Deering started his career as a product manager at Gillette Razor brand in the 70s. He went to work on at McKinsey & Co. in the New York and marketing studies before returning to Gillette as head of worldwide shaving and then head of European marketing across all categories, including toiletries and writing instruments. Deering's first involvement in the video game industry was his job as vice president of internal marketing for Atari. In this time, he also served VP International for Spinnaker Software, a Boston-based educational video game startup. Following his involvement at Atari, he became head of international marketing at Columbia Pictures until the company was purchased by Sony in 1989. This later led to his career as international chief operating officer at Sony Pictures Home Entertainment from the 1990s to the 1995. He went on to take two other positions at Sony, serving as the president of Sony's Computer Entertainment Europe from 1995 to 2005. And Sony's Electronics from Europe to 2003 to 2005. After his career at Sony, he became a chairman, board of director, and director of in-game advertising at Codemasters Ltd. So you may be asking yourself, why should I care? You probably shouldn't. However, there are people like him and things that are being said by people like him that are somewhat harmful to gamers and the developers in gaming. And today, we're going to talk about it. So without further ado, let's get into it. Former PlayStation EU boss says devs made redundant should get over it and go to the beach for a year. Chris Deering says he's optimistic the games industry will recover. Former PlayStation Europe and Codemaster boss Chris Deering has suggested that the developers affected by the recent wave of gaming industry layoffs should drive an Uber or go to the beach for a year while waiting for the industry to resolve its widespread issues. In the latest episode of journalist Simon Parkin's My Perfect Console podcast, Deering, who was president of Sony Computer Entertainment Europe from 1995 to 2005 and president of Codemasters from 2006 to 2010, was asked about the current trend of layoffs across the industry. Deering replied that the layoffs were just part of business and that it wasn't fair to say that they were driven by greed. The problem is, Chris, they definitely were being driven by greed. A lot of these companies are literally firing people because they're not making enough money to sustain. Now, that might not be greed, but on a different side of the spectrum, there are people firing developers that are on games, that are on projects, whatever you want to call them, that actually need those people on the projects to make the projects better, but they're firing these people because they want to cut costs on the game or whatever. At the end of the day, they're cutting these people and they're cutting costs because they want more money in their pocket. This is definitely a greed thing. Not all of them are greed, but this is definitely led by greed. I don't think it's fair to say that the resulting layoffs have been greed, Deering said. I always tried to minimize the speed with which we added staff because I always knew there would be a cycle and I didn't want to end up having the same problems that Sony did in electronics. Now, of course, there was just recently a big layoff of Sony studios in London. But that whole studio setup has been run out of Amsterdam now for a few years, and I don't know if the money isn't coming in from the customers on the last game. It's going to be hard to justify spending the money for the next game. Yes, I agree with this. If you don't make money on your last game, you're not going to make money on your next game. However, you actually need to put in the time and effort and all these other things to actually make the game good so that people want to spend money on the game so that you have money for the next game. You don't get a Baldur's Gate 3 without Baldur's Gate 2 selling well, or at least you don't get a Baldur's Gate 3 without the company doing well and having enough money to be able to cover for the costs if Baldur's Gate 3 doesn't sell well. Or if Baldur's Gate 2 didn't sell well, but they still wanted to make Baldur's Gate 3, now they have to dig money from somewhere else to create this game. The game execs, who is currently an advisor to various company boards, then suggest that the developers being made redundant who eventually be able to get back into business, but that they would have to sit on the sidelines for a while. I think it's probably very painful for managers, but I don't think that having skill in this area is going to be a lifetime of poverty or limitation, he said. Of course not. There is always going to be games that needs to be made. There's always going to be TV shows that could be made. And guess what? If you create games, you could somewhat blend that in doing when it comes to creating shows or creating anything that involves characters, stories, environments, etc., etc. It's still where the action is, and it's like the pandemic, but now we're going to have to take a few. Figure out how to get through it. Drive an Uber or whatever, go off to find a cheap place to live, and go to the beach for a year. But keep up with your news and keep up with it, because once you get off the train, it's much harder. But I'm optimistic about the future, even for people that have just recently been laid off. And these things do recover sometimes a lot faster than you might think when all is very precarious. I presume people were paid some kind of a decent severance package. And by the time that runs out, well, you know, that's life. That is the problem, Chris. That is literally the problem. You guys hire a bunch of people to do a job, and then once the job is done, you will fire them immediately. Sometimes some of these people don't get severance packages. I've seen plenty of posts of people getting fired and not getting severance packages. So they put all their life's work, all of their hard work into a project only for them to get cut from the project, not get a single cent towards it, not even get a mention towards the project that they put all of their time and effort into. And then when that happens, you got the nerve to go tell them to go chill out on the beach or go drive an Uber because things like this happen. Yes, Chris, things like this do happen. But at the rate that they're happening, no, it should not be happening, Chris. He added, I always say what's really exciting about the industry is that you never really have the chance to get depressed. What you have to do is things jump out in front of you and you deal with them, just like in a game. So get over it. So get over it? Wait. Hold on. Thousands of people are being laid off from the gaming industry, and your response to that is go drive Uber, go chill out on the beach, and get over it? People have worked all their lives to reach this level, to be able to create AAA games, to even be able to just make a game in general. And your response to that is to get over it? Wow. This is wild. Really, that's the excitement of the industry. Like this happens, and it's very sad, but it's not going to be forever. And you know, come on, guys, wake up. This is not the first time. No, Chris, this isn't the first time, but it is the first time in a long time where tens of thousands of people are being laid off just for doing their job. The game industry has continued to see widespread layoffs, which begin to accelerate in 2023 and have continued throughout 2024 with no signs of stopping. So how are we supposed to just get over it, Chris? Huh? You mind telling us that? Game developer Farhan Noor has been tracking job cuts dating back to the start of 2022 on videogameslayoffs.com. Estimated around 10,500 game industry employees were laid off last year. That's last year. And around 11,540 have already been laid off this year so far. The year isn't over yet, Chris. You expect all these people to go chill out on the beach and drive Uber? That's your idea, Chris? That's your big grand scheme, Chris? Earlier this year, during former employer Sony Interactive Entertainment announced it would reduce its overall headcount by about 8%, or about 900 people. The layoffs, including the entire close off of the PlayStation London studio. Hey guys, this is the type of stuff that they want you to deal with. This is the type of stuff that they don't want you to know. All right? I picked this story specifically because Chris isn't the only person who says things like this. There are tons of people in the background saying the exact thing that Chris is saying. Get over it. Go drive Uber. Go drive Lyft. Go chill out at a beachfront. Chris, I don't think you know this, but you were the head of company. You were the chairman of certain companies. You have way more money than a regular developer would have. So for you to just say, go chill out on the beach, like go chill out on a beach house or something like that, that is insane. That is insane. For you to say, hey, go drive an Uber right after they lost their job that they probably been trying to get all their life, that is insane. I hope more people hear about this story. I really hope this video goes viral, or I hope someone who covers this video or this situation in itself goes viral, because this is ridiculous. This is the type of stuff that really pisses me off. This video was going on way longer than it should have. The out of touchness that people have is sickening. This is really, really sickening. That's all that I have for you guys. Wow, like I'm really speechless at this whole thing. If you like this video, then like it. If you don't like this video, then I appreciate you for even making it this far throughout the video. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Wow. That's it really. Thanks. Gaming's on out.